Y'all here? You guys see that? That was freaking crazy. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. Look, it looks like we're live. Thank you everyone for being here. It's a huge day. Serato DJ 3.0 is out. It's live. We have Skratch Bastid here with us. Well, you know, technically he's coming to us live from Toronto, Canada. But really quick, I just wanted to answer some of the questions we got from you all on the IG questions. So real quick, it's out now. Serato DJ 3.0 is out now with stems in it, and it's a free upgrade. So go get that right now on Serato.com. The questions you guys had though was basically, will it be Mac OS Ventura ready? And yes, it is. Ventura is supported. But please note that you will want to make sure that your hardware is supported. A lot of hardware is supported, but there are certain pieces of hardware that are not. So double check that your hardware is supported and then go get it. And the other question was, any setting within Serato that we need to change for stems to work perfectly? Well, you definitely need to want to make sure you have a computer that supports it, so check those system requirements. And also make sure that you've got your buffer set accordingly, but as long as you've got the minimum requirements, it should work fine. You can also use the prep crate, and we'll talk a little bit about that maybe a little bit later. And that will pre-analyze your stems and allow you to load them up instantly, so it's pretty fire. Computer requirements for handling all the stems in my library. Well, that's really more of a memory space. You definitely you probably wouldn't want to analyze the whole library because that's going to take up a lot of space, but you can have stems automatically analyzed as soon as you load a song. So that will temporarily put a file on your computer and then it will be erased at the end of your session. So yeah, maybe just be careful about how much internal hard drive space you have remaining on your computer, and you should be good. But yeah, system requirements will be on the download page. Just check those. I'll give you a quick overview right now. For a Mac, you want something that's 2017 or later. You want a dual-core Intel i5 MacBook Pro or Silicon M1 or M2 chip, and you'll need 8 gigs of RAM or higher, and at least 15 gigabytes of internal storage space or more available. And you'll definitely need to be on either Mac OS 10, 15, 11, or 12. So that's what you'll need. And for the PC homies out there, you'll need an 8th generation i9 or AMD Ryzen 7 5000 series. AVX is required. And you'll need at least 16 gigabytes of RAM and also 15 gigabytes of storage or more for local disk space. But you know what? Enough of the details. We got Skratch Bastid here, and I'm going to bring him on right now. So please put your hands together, make some noise in the chat for the one and only Skratch Bastid. What up, Skratch Bastid?
Fire in the chat! Fire in the chat! Let's go!
Man.
Go!
Dude, that was insane. Dude, how does it feel? It's out now.
So good, man. We recorded this in July, so I've been sitting on it. It's like a secret that I've been trying to, like I just couldn't wait to let it out, and I'm just super happy to see so many people tune in and check it out. And of course, you can go watch it back. It moves pretty quick. There's a lot going on, so I implore people to go back and check it out and see what I'm doing. I mean, we're going to talk about that a little bit here, but it'll be there for you guys to watch over and over again.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. We actually had some questions from people on IG, so we're going to answer those questions right now. The first question I think we're all wanting to know is, like, how long did it take to imagine the routine?
Well, I'll say this, like, because the technology was new and I hadn't used it in practice, really, I had to dedicatedly practice to using this new technology. I will say it's like a new way of thinking of some mixes. You have new tools at your disposal that you never had live. Like, you can literally isolate the vocal or the drums or the bass or a specific part of the melody. And it's kind of a little different with each song. So I had to just develop a new way of thinking about how I wanted to put together a routine with a couple things in mind. One thing that I had in mind was that people hadn't used the technology, or it's a lot for people to comprehend because they haven't done it themselves, or they haven't been able to use this technology that way. So how was I going to present it in a video that didn't completely fly over people's heads, that kind of started out with a simple concept of, like, that's why I started with the full track of Freon by Live a Little, and then moved into the a cappella over over a vocal, which is kind of a classic live mashup thing, and then get into mixing a different part, then cutting different a cappella parts that were made available by Stems, muting different parts of the instrumentals just to get the woos and stuff like that, and then eventually move to a part that had an open juggle section. So I kind of wanted to cover scratching, juggling, beat mixing, mashups, and all that, because those are the things that really Stems makes these tools more available to take those things to another level.
Yeah, man. Holy smokes. You did all that and so much more too, dude. Like, you really finessed all that stuff, dude. It was crazy.
Well, yeah, and it was fun. It did take a while. Like, I'd say, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a clock that I start and stop every time I practice, but it did took a few weeks to really get my head around how I wanted to showcase all of this stuff.
Right. And you were also go ahead.
Yeah, and for music, everything I used was from the catalog of Fool's Gold Records, including this one here that I've got on wax, which is Saturday Love, To Be Free, which is Con and Furious. Dope track, very dope track called To Be Free. That's the second song that I play in the mix. The vinyl's pretty dope too. It's got a nice little...
Ooh.
It's like a Pokemon ball or something.
That's cool.
Yeah. So because this is something to be shared on the Serato page, everything had to be cleared. I couldn't just play AC/DC Back in Black and cut up the acapella. Not like that's really what I'd want to do when pushing something forwards like this. But I had to have cleared music, so I used everything from the Fool's Gold catalog. Shouts out to A-Track. Shouts out to Catch Dubs. Yeah.
Shout out Durkin too. Durkin, Con.
Durkin, Con, Wajeed, Levan Cali, and also Ninetoes, which was the sax track, that last joint that I played. So 4 joints. Freon by Live a Little with Durkin. To Be Free by Saturday Love, which is Con and Furious. Give Love to Get Some by A-Track, the brothers Macklovitch and Levan Cali. And the Sax Track by Ninetoes. Those are the 4 tracks that I used.
Hey, that's pretty far. And, technically speaking, that meets the requirement for CanCon, right? We got at least 30%.
Nice. Yes. Checks in the mail, fellas.
Also, I want to give a shout out. Ninetoes also did the Finder song, that right? That's the other track he did.
Classic. Big tune. Yes, Ninetoes did Finder. We all know A-Track, no doubt, brothers Macklovitch, and Con. I mean, Con is one of the illest in the digging and edits and disco production game. And Durkin is really dope too. I really like that track Freon. Actually, that was one that me and Cosmo Baker put on our songs we listened to a lot in 2021 mix. That one I was really happy to see. These were tracks that I was already playing, so that was kind of nice. But the sax track was new to me, and that's what I freaked at the end with the juggle. Yeah,
that's really cool. I want to leave this to you, actually. Can you give us a breakdown? One of the questions was, can you give us a breakdown of the routine and kind of like walk us through it, if you will?
Yeah, sure. So I'll do my best as far as sort of keeping the flow, but of course when it goes all together, like, take what I say here and A-B it with the full flowing routine, because I'm going to stop and start a little bit. But just to give you an idea, and you can see these lights here, right? That looks all right.
Yeah.
So in Serato Stems, you have the option of assigning it. I use a Pioneer S11, by the way. Amazing mixer. You have the option of assigning it to a certain pad. So I've got mine assigned to loop roll, which is the second one, because I don't use loop roll that much. So you can kind of choose where you want to assign it. I've got it assigned there. So in that, then I've got the 4 options. And I love the graphics you guys did. The graphics were obviously done after the performance.
Yeah.
Cleveland Terry said, it's quite the OBS you have. Yeah, this takes a lot more than a couple overlays,
Absolutely.
It was a lot of work, and I love how it turned out. But we with those graphic overlays, we try to describe how the isolated tracks were working, which ones were on, which ones were off. With the first track, Freon, you've got... You hear that all right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all these elements, and I kind of took the kick and played with the kick a little bit. Just get busy like that a little bit. And then this part here, For the video, I edited a little. I accelerated a little bit, but I wanted to let the track play so people had an idea of what I took and then where I took it.
Ooh, I'm into it so beyond you. My soul glow is like neon blue. Me no stress, I'm like Freon cool. Me no stress, I'm like Freon cool. Cool, 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 cool. I'm into it so beyond you. My soul glow is like neon blue. Me no stress, I'm like Freon cool. Me no stress, I'm like Freon cool. All these girls love Beyonce. I love me some Beyonce too. I'ma pour me some Andre. Someone break out the champagne.
Ooh.
And then I skipped to the chorus. Played with those oohs back and forth a little bit to kind of make a little connection. Now I can hear this broken heart. Yeah, and then I'll loop this part there. So that part there was kind of identifying a live mashup and how you might do it. And that's one of the things I think is amazing about Stems is the on-the-fly use of like, ooh, something could, if I could just take this away, it would make this mix better, or let me take away the beat. Also for like streaming and talking to people, you've got you can, like right now there's vocals in this song at this part, but I can take it out. So for all my streamers out there and my radio show people, it's amazing. You know, if you say, oh, those keys are not, I don't like the keys, you can mute the keys and just have the drums and the bass there. It's wild, right? Now you can hear me so clearly talking to you like this. So, yeah, it's awesome. Like, I just love the space that it can create. And even if you want from there, a cappella.
Ooh, I'm into it so beyond you. My soul glow is like neon blue. You know stress, I'm like Freon cool. You know stress, I'm like Freon cool.
Something like that, you know. So we got to there. Let me see now. To get back to the part. So I let the chorus go. And then I kind of stripped it down here.
You gotta give love to get some.
So play this part.
To end up alone in the dark. Alone in the dark. You gotta give love to get some. It's so fun to end up alone in the dark.
And then I wanted to do like a cut section using just the a cappella over this part here.
You gotta give love to get some. You gotta give love to get some. Get some. Don't answer that phone. We on. Give love to get some. Gotta give love to get some fun to end up alone in the dark. Alone in the dark.
Cool, right? So it's cool, like, from a scratching perspective, you can really break down acapellas, and just as from a scratch DJ, it's like magic to have so much access to all the acapellas, the oohs and ahs. It really opens up your toolkit, you know. So that's what I tried to do, is like show people what was there and then take things away and use it that way. So then So then I took this cool sax part from this. I'll see how this juggle works sitting down. So something like that.
Something like that, yo.
Yeah. So it really opened up those saxes, right? Though, because those saxes are all in the beat. There's no stems, but then you can do juggles with those specific sections, you know. So, it just opens up so many new options as someone who's creative with turntables and with music to play pads and to cut up melodies and stuff like that. So
Absolutely, yo, dude, that's crazy. Yo, everyone gotta give it up to Skratch Bastid for that.
Let's go.
That's crazy, man. And you know what I gotta say, one of the things I really love about it is like how the whole thing's like in key too, dude. Like I don't know if anyone noticed that, but it's like perfectly in key.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's like not to like boost Serato's tires so much, but it's just you have so many options now. You can get things in key, you can key lock that easily, key match, and then you can also like things are going to be musical, so it opens up all these parts, and then you also have the tools to put them in key and the tools to make it really musical, so it's crazy, man. It just keeps the program keeps getting better and better and better and giving creative DJs more and more tools to use. So long live Serato and creative DJs.
Absolutely. Well, we got a couple more questions from the chat. Not from the chat, from the Instagram questions. And one of those questions was, what new possibilities have you discovered with stems? I kind of feel like you just talked about that, but is there anything else that comes to mind?
No, but like, I think as a DJ, sometimes you have, your favorite little signature mixes and things that have always worked really well, 2 records or a few records that work really well together. Well, when you go and revisit those with stems, it's awesome because you have even more options to make them fit more. Like, we all know there's one track that we just wish we could take out this certain part, or maybe we made an a cappella edit or something like that. Well, going forward, it saves you the time of making those edits outside of the program, at the very least, just to develop your ideas before. It keeps you right in the program and in the state of DJing where you're ready to do it if you're live in a live situation or in just a creative situation where you're practicing and trying things out at home. That, to me, just strictly from a creative creation standpoint, that's incredible. Like, I just think it saves you so much time. It saves you the time of putting it in a DAW, and because people have said, oh yeah, you can do this kind of AI technology for making these things, parts of tracks, has always been available. Yeah, but not in a program as powerful as Serato and like this. So I've been revisiting some of my old mixes. Yesterday during the barbecue stream, I did one, and it just like I just was smiling ear to ear just when it happened, because it saved me a few loads. I used to have to go to the acapella and then drop the beat on the other side, and now I just push 2 buttons and the acapella just appears on the already playing track and I drop the beat. So it's like, it's just saving you a few steps, and we all know that as a DJ, if the more steps you can save, like the more efficient you can be in a performance setting, and so that's only going to help elevate things from that capacity.
Yeah. You know what, actually, something like that you kind of talked about a little bit earlier was just being able to talk over, when you're streaming, being able to use the instrumental button. I think that even on just that level, that's probably something that's super useful for a lot of people, like you said, on radio. And I just want to kind of reinforce that, like on the most basic level of using stems, just to be able to take out the vocal and be able to talk clearly is like, very, very helpful, right?
Dude, I showed this to Maceo. I probably wasn't supposed to show it to Maceo, DJ Maceo, but I showed it. It's Maceo from De La Soul. Yeah. And I just casually did it. I played the song 4 More from Stakes Is High, and I played the song, and I played the chorus, and then I just muted the vocals when Pasta Noose was supposed to come in. And he was just kind of, I don't know, he was like washing the dishes or something. and then like there was no vocal, and he just turned around, bro, what? And now I had an instrumental of Four More, which is a song that never had an instrumental. And Maceo was looking at me like, this is going to change our whole performance game. And it really is for people that are, performers and groups and any kind of thing where you can imagine events where you have the instrumentals to tracks now, very, very good usable versions.
Yeah,
and
the karaoke game will never be the same.
The karaoke game just... Now, I got no singing lessons. Serato don't come with auto-tune on the microphone, so you're on your own with that one.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that like just the ability to have, again, it's just like how creative do you want to get?
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out Maceo, Vinny Merlot, De La Soul. That's the OG right there. That's a legend. Okay, a couple more questions. How efficient performance-wise can stems elevate the performance? That's the question that we got. I'm trying to break that down in my head. How efficient performance-wise can stems elevate the performance?
Well, I think it touched on what I just said. You can use one file instead of, the classic. What's that shirt that Primo wears? Like street version, radio version, instrumental, acapella, or whatever, right? Like this classic sort of the 12-inch style where you have 4 different files. This really gives you all of that in one file, and then you can use it from there. But instead of loading anything, you're literally just push buttons to make that happen. So and it's got all kinds of cool. Like I'm not sure how much people saw on that one, but with the vocals, you can echo out the vocals, echo out the instrumental, put a break on the instrumental, or the drums can echo out. So instead of just sort of like a full stop, you get these things where you can it just echoes it out. So let's go. Yeah, so it makes it nice and round in there. It has those, and that even saves up your effects for other things too.
That's
so
true.
those features are compounding value there. You got some cool stuff going on. I just think, from that point, it makes it really, really efficient just to have one track and to be able to use it from there.
Yeah. Another question we had was, what creative ways are you going to use stems? And I feel like you just gave a whole lesson on how all the different ways you can. And personally, I'm using it a lot for making these blends and just seeing what can work with anything in my library. And it's crazy what you can get. But is there any other creative ways that you're thinking about using stems?
Yeah, I mean, in the routine, again, it's like opening up those parts to be able to play things like an instrument. You're always looking like, when you dig for records, you look on vinyl and you're trying to find these perfect open spots. Oh, there's a cool open saxophone here, so let me try to do that on some like Kid Koala or something like that. Let me find the perfect record with just the saxophone. And it's like, wow, now you can find a track that had saxophone with drums underneath it with some other stuff, and you might be able to get the perfect little sax that you're looking for, So I think like really getting into the DNA of tracks and it just accelerates that creative process. You don't have to process it out of the program. You can try things right there on the spot and decide whether or not this mashup stinks or not. And I want you to decide before you send it out to the world. Okay. Some people are like, it's changed the it's changed the mashup game. Right. But I don't know. I think that if you really wanted to be doing mashups, like people are like, we're going to hear so many bad mashups. Well, first of all, you weren't listening if you didn't hear all the bad ones that existed before.
Facts.
But yes, it does make it easier. But people are still going to be discerning, and maybe now also with like the like key lock and pitch shift and everything, you're going to be able to have the opportunity. Use your ear and see if it sounds good. Use those colors and try to match them up. And like you have so many tools at your disposal to make things in key and sound good. I think that there's a lot of things there that will help clean up the game, truthfully.
Yeah, I agree. And at the end of the day, you always got your friends. Always do the homie check.
Do the homie check.
Yeah. Make sure they give you the cosign.
The wifey check.
Yep.
Yo, babe, how does this sound? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got some people that's asking in the chat, talking about how, who was it? Somebody said, if this was available for a 3-style, it would be a game over. And absolutely. I hope that we see that in things like the Goldie Awards, like A-Track and Fool's Gold do, and other DJ competitions.
No doubt. I mean, and I can say this from putting together the routine. It was like wrapping your head around it does take some time. So, and one thing about the routine, we recorded it in July. The beta was out in October,
Yeah.
I think. And then like I was like, okay, let's put out the video. And you guys like, well, we're not ready to put out the main one till December. And I was like, damn it, someone's gonna totally come in and steal my thunder and do a new Stems video, and then my thing's gonna look old or something. But it's not like that, you know.
Nope.
It's two things. One, I feel like I pulled off the routine that I wanted to. But two, like it does take some time to really get comfortable with it and how to maneuver between the states that you're in, because it's almost like your brain hasn't been trained to think about something being accessible like that, like the different parts, and then you got to remember which part you're on and everything, and sometimes you got to switch to the other pad modes and stuff. So it does take a little bit of practice to really get the rhythm of how you maneuver in and out of these different parts of your track.
Totally. And you were like, just to touch on it, you were the first person, and I can say this because I was the guy that was allowed to show it to you. You were the first person outside of Serato, the company, to see it. And so you were really there for every step of the way, seeing it develop. What was that like for you?
Hard secret to keep. No, I think you guys did a pretty good job, you know, of keeping it under wraps. But because it is quite jaw-dropping technology, you know, when you do hear it at live like that. But I think also it's come a long way even from the first versions that you guys sent me, like in the quality of the Stems quality and the stability, of course. And that just makes me excited for the future as well, because this is a part of your program that's just going to continue to get better. You know, it's already great, but like that's what I'm saying. Like from super beta to now public release, and it just means now that you've got this new thing that's going to continue to improve with technology also. So yeah, I'm just, that just makes me really excited as a creative DJ.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of other questions we had. One of the questions was, what advice would you give to young people trying to start vinyl DJing specifically?
Oh man, buy good records. It's kind of the same any which way you do it is like practice. You got to put your time in the field, get out of your head and physically do it, you know, try it out, put yourself in cases where you're playing the music out and you're dealing with whether it worked or not. You know, you can't do that only in your head. You have to go out and try things out, and eventually you have to play it for, I mean, you don't have to play it for other people, but you know, you have to complete something and tell yourself, did I do that good or did I not do that good, and how could I do that better, and what are these things? And with vinyl, you've got all kinds of different extra factors like bass, rumble, and feedback. Of course, you've got needles that can skip, so there's a lot more physical things that you've got to take into consideration. So that makes that implementation all the more important, because you really have to get out there and try it out and see how it works.
Absolutely.
Of course, and then you've got pitch, like the pitch changes as you change the speed of the turntable. So not all things are going to work because they're not pitch locked and everything like that. So buy good records and play them and work it. Put in your hours. It's
really good that you said that, actually. The other day I was talking to a younger person and talking about how to do a blend the other day. You know what I mean? Like to do an actual, you know, in-key blend or mashup, whatever you want to call it, with vinyl records was kind of like finding a unicorn. You know, it was a very rare opportunity because of all the things you just said.
Because the pitch and the tempo had to match. Because as soon as you change the tempo, then the pitch changes with it, and the odds of it being like in the range of like a specific note is like, okay, it's only really at like +6 or -8, you know, like or 0 or 45. So like, yeah, it's really finding those pairs on vinyl was very rare.
And then you had to find the vinyl that actually, if they even released an acapella on vinyl or an instrumental, right?
That's why acapellas have always been gold, you know. But now we got more acapellas.
Absolutely, we're gonna do an air horn. More acapellas.
More fire in the chat for dope acapellas. Let's go.
That's facts. Another question though, real quick from the IG questions: will you be on the Rock the Bells cruise?
No, not yet. If they book me.
There you go.
Let's go.
Someone in the chat, 1 second. A-Track says there's a really amazing article about...
Just someone in the chat. A-Track's in the chat. What up, A-Track?
Big up, A-Track. There's a really amazing article about the history of too many DJs as heard on Radio Soul Wax Part 2 in Days Online. I got to check that out. I imagine they'll probably talk a lot about that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are pioneers in that realm, of pre-mashups or just like mixing, and their production's incredible. Their DJ, yeah, shout out to Too Many DJs, but I got to read that. I'm going to copy and paste that to my notes right now. Thanks, A-Track. Shouts out to A-Track.
Absolutely. Shouts out to Fool's Gold A-Track. That was his track in the routine. Give love to get some.
Give love to get some. Yep.
Such a
great
jam.
Tune. And the Wajeed remix, that was that one. But the OG, both the OG and the remix are great. Make sure you go check those out. I'm sure in the comments of the video, I'm gonna. I don't know if you guys put the artist, but I'll definitely hop in there if you didn't. And
absolutely, yeah. All those tracks are just like awesome, fantastic.
Tunes, man, Fool's Gold doing it.
Now I have some questions for you for myself. Oh, there it is. Look, Saturday Love. There it is. I have some. Ooh. Man, that's some nice packaging. Hey, Fool's Gold.
Yeah, snapped on this. Who did this anyway? Who packaged this? Oh no. A-Track could tell you.
Yeah, they always do great jobs with the vinyl. Definitely cop that. We got a bunch of homies in the chat. Actually, I want to give a quick shout out. Cool DJ Chic One, OP Miller's here. We got Santero. We got DJ Pearly, world champ.
Pearly.
Sonny James. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of homies in here. OC, is that OC? Like as in OC? JMKM's here? JMKM. Yo. Yeah, big up everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much. It's great to have you. Do we have some other questions here as well? Will Stems work on stream tracks? Yes, they do currently. Chris L's in the chat from HQ. Love's here. Love Lisa's here.
Evil D is on the mix. Come on, kick it.
Evil D. Oh my God, Beat Miner's in the house.
Evil D, Beat Miner's in the house. Brown Brother Fly from my Twitch St. Louis is in the house. Man, it's looking fun in here, man. Agile, shouts to Agile Toronto. Frieza Chin is in here. Toronto's in here. Just Dizzle, France.
Well, Playlist Retreat fam.
Playlist Retreat fam. Kid Cut Up, Revert's in here. Nina Mendoza. Yazir the DJ. Macklovitch. Destruct. Tragic. Headspin is in here. Easy from South Africa. Oh my God. Michael Henry, aka DJ Marvel's in here. Okay, cool.
Let's keep it moving a little bit. So the question we have some questions from people in the chat, and Mac Joseph was asking, can you use multiple streaming platforms? That's currently a limitation of Serato right now, but you can use BeatSource, Beatport, Tidal, or SoundCloud in Serato DJ 3.0, and they will work with stems. The blueprint asks specifically you, Paul, what year MacBook are you using?
I use an M1 Max. So we've been 2022. I got this earlier this year.
Nice.
Right before you guys asked me to do the video, so it was lucky.
Perfect.
It took me a while to transition over though. I had this. I was doing it on a 2017 MacBook Pro. Is that what this is? No, 2015. I was using the old bad boy with the HDMI out and everything like that. Still working good. So good. But it's been working so good. I haven't tried the public on this one, but I've been using the M1 Max, and I did it for my barbecue stream yesterday. 5 hours, no problem. Not nary a USB dropout. There was no problems.
Nice. And we will be posting the minimum requirements. It's on the download page on Serato.com if you're looking for that. Serato DJ 3.0 is on the website for everybody to get right now, just to let everyone know in the chat. So you can just jump on that right away and go crazy. And yeah, it supports a bunch of hardware. Just make sure that if you are, if you've updated to Ventura, which is now supported with Serato DJ 3.0, that you are using the hardware as drivers for that. So certain pieces of hardware still maybe not have Ventura OS support, so just double check your hardware does, and then you're ready to update. Make sure, of course, your computer can do that. We have a couple other questions in the chat. Does Stems quadruple your music storage if you analyzed everything? Yes, it does. It doesn't quadruple necessarily, but it definitely makes it a lot bigger. So I wouldn't recommend to anybody to analyze their entire library. just analyze what you need. There is a stems crate that can allow you to do that, but otherwise it does analyze it on the fly, so you don't even need to really do that unless, of course, you really want to. And then Steve Magion Calda, I hope I'm saying that right. Huge for creating clean versions for those of us that are stuck needing them. Absolutely right. What else have we got? Yeah, that's right. This is kind of more of a philosophical question for you, Paul, but tell me your experience with how technology helps change the way we all listen to music and your experience with it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I first met you, let's just put some context to this. Sure. I met you in Halifax, Nova Scotia, 1999. I've known you for a long time. And at that time, there was no technology for DJing other than two
just
turntables and a mixer. Yeah.
CDs. There were CDs, but due to the fact that I like to scratch, the CD technology hadn't reached the point where that was even close to vinyl.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know, Matt. That's a good question. Like, I think I've been pretty sacred about my listening habits, and I kind of compartmentalize it in my brain a little bit. Like, I think the process of listening is so important to a DJ, because you don't want to ever lose touch with being a listener, because you're playing music for people that are listeners. So you always kind of got to keep that golden. You got to understand how people are perceiving a track. As much as now we can get into the DNA of a track and pick it apart, you got to understand that people do hear something a certain way, and there are certain parts of things that people pick up on, and you don't want to lose track of those really specific things. I would compare it to a DJ that would either skip the part that everyone sings along to or not get to the part that everyone sings along to. So you've got to make sure that you're always from that listener's perspective, or that you can hear it from that. Of course, like with stems and stuff, I salivate over like the idea of taking apart a track. And now when I hear something, I might get a little more excited when I hear something that I perceive to be nicely removable. But I still think maybe fueled by that using your ear of things still catch you for a reason. So I've never gotten away from that, and playing with vinyl actually also helps me stay connected to that, because you can't do that. So I always like the balance. Some people ask why I still use needles a lot. I shouted to phase. I still keep phase in my backpack, but here at home I don't have as many factors of potential vibration and problems, and I like to switch between vinyl and Serato just to keep that fresh. So yeah, I think I've been pretty protective of not getting too far ahead of myself, or maybe just not disconnecting myself from the average listener.
That's a really great point, man. I love how that's perfectly said, and I think that I think the way that you approach things is always very tasteful, and I think that, I mean, that's how I think of you actually, Paul, as like a DJ. Sorry, Skratch Bastid, as a DJ, is your ability to always, do things in a tasteful manner, whether it's scratching, whether it's juggling, however you're putting together mixes. You're always just using the right amount of spice for the barbecue, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, bro. Yeah. And I saw someone wrote too, like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah. And with great power comes great responsibility. It's true, And if you're messing around too much, you might break the groove. And that's something that I learned as someone who started in battle DJing and then eventually got to play more clubs, is that you have to be selective about when you apply these things, because you don't want to just stand there and just scratch for the whole entire set. You got to kind of build up to it and put it on the stage and then do it. And know when people want that versus when people want to dance and listen to music, and how you might sprinkle the sauce at certain points of doing it. So yeah.
Okay, well, you just said the magic word sauce, and we have fortunately a question from the lady who knows a lot about sauce in the chat, DJ Pearly. Big up DJ Pearly. She got a couple questions for you. She knows a lot. She knows a thing or two about sauce. So, what has been your most favorite thing about using Serato Stems? And have you had a happy accident recently in creating a mix with stems?
Yesterday, there's this little thing I do with Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. Chuck, in his second verse, Chuck goes to this triplet rhythm, soul in the hole, but you treat it like soap on a rope because the beats and the rhymes is so dope. And he does it for, most except for like 2 bars of the whole verse. And there's an acapella of that track, and I was always to myself, okay, well, I want to put that over like a triplet beat. So I used "Doing It to Death" by the JBs, and I'd always done this thing where, okay, like, I got to get ready, drop the acapella, and then cue up the thing. And you can do it, but you also have to loop that part, et cetera, et cetera. I did it yesterday, and all I did was just push the button and drop the JBs, and I was just like, just smiled for a little bit while it looped up. It just was like, just the relief of not having to kind of juggle those 2 parts back and forth was like, I felt the efficiency right there. And I hadn't really been playing the beta because I didn't want it to crash. I mean, I played around, but like I said, like, I'm on stage and people, if it crashes, some people don't care. They're just like, I was listening to Skratch once and his stuff crashed. He's not professional. You gotta wait. So,
Yeah.
But just doing that, it felt really good. I'll share that. I'll share that live. But as far as the happy accidents go, it's a good question. I can't really put my finger on it. But when I was trying to make the routine, I would just, it's almost like you had to listen to it 4 times or like, keep pop. You might miss something, or like you might not notice how good something sounds on its own till you push that button. You know what I mean? And so as far as happy accidents, it's a good question. I'm sure there are some that happened in the creative process, but I can't really say which one. But someone like Pearly, who's a creative turntablist, I'm sure she's gonna find some happy accidents and some just dope intentional finds herself.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm glad you brought that. I hope you don't mind me answering it too, Pearly. But yeah, I literally will just go through my library and have things that are in key and just start throwing things at another track, and then just stemming it out and seeing what happens. And I have those moments quite frequently, so I highly recommend people give that a try too, because you've got it all there. You can figure out the BPM, match the key, just see what works and see. And I think that's a good thing to do, like you said earlier, Paul. Trust your ear and just see what magic happens.
Make sure you read those keys, man. They can open up some amazing pairings, man. Just things that you don't know. Shouts out to Eccentric in the chat, who surely does that.
Yeah,
all his things are in key, no doubt.
Yeah, Eccentric, one of the goats with the blends, man. Now we have another question from It's a Me DJ Mario. I think I'm saying that correctly. And I think you kind of answered it, but are we gigging with it yet? And
first one was yesterday when you sent me the final. I had it one day early, the public version.
You didn't hear that. It wasn't me.
Oops, oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're so good.
It was. I think the date calendar had already changed to December 5th in New Zealand.
Yeah, technically speaking, it was. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We got the Gaff in here. What up, Gaff?
Gaff. I also see Drastic. I also see NBA player Cedric Sabalas. DJ Ced Sabalas is in the chat. What up, Ced?
Yo, this is a lit chat. Get Ken Dollars in here too. What up, Ken Dollars?
Hey.
Oh, we got some people in here. It's so great.
Yeah. So, but honestly, I just implore people, go try it out. Put some time aside, and like I kind of said, take some of your favorite mixes that you've been doing. Everyone's got their favorite pairings. Try that out and just see how much further you can take the mixes, because that'll give you something with some familiarity, and then you'll be able to see really like how far better you can clean them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that can be really fun. But yeah, definitely got to put in your time. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking to be doing it in public for the first time. It can be a little bit like, and sometimes when you do it, well, there's something, if you take away from something, sometimes it might, again, that thing about understanding how the public hears something, you might not want to get too busy with it and be a little more selective. So figure out how you want to use it. Another way that I like using it is almost making your own like extended versions, almost like dub versions, because you can really pop the vocal in and out a little bit. So even if you get a nice part that's looping that has a few elements going on, even a long loop, like let's say like an 8-bar, 16-bar loop or something, you can really get creative with just sort of like taking parts in and out of it. You get your Lee Perry on a little bit. It's like having a 4-track on right at your fingertips there with like cool effects and stuff. It's just really fun to play around with.
Especially when you think about like disco 12-inch dub versions, like, oh man. I remember when I was playing around with that, like Larry Levan style things, just bringing things out, and oof, yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, no, and again, like we said, like when we were talking over the instrumentals earlier, like it just gives you that space, and sometimes that space is really nice on the dance floor too. If you got people in a groove, like why not extend it further? Like this is again things that you used to need literal tape reels to do, and a multi-track thing to do, and you can do it on the fly now. So it's quite wild, man.
Totally. And somebody did actually ask a little earlier, I can't remember who it was, but I just wanted to let people know. Somebody was asking about, is it in Serato Studio? And it is currently in Serato Studio. If you're a Serato Studio user, or if you wanted to get familiar with it, that's our DAW. And it does allow you to basically take any of those ideas that you're having as a DJ and then bring it into a DAW kind of world. So that you can, basically really edit it, add all sorts of like effects and plugins, and you can edit it how you want. So yeah, give that a try. That is going to be released later on, but you can still access it if you have a license in beta currently. So just something to think about. It's definitely something we're going to continue to work on too. So keep an ear out for how it's coming out and how it's working and all that. But it is out now, and it is available on the website, Serato.com. Download Serato DJ 3.0 and get it, go out. You can gig with it now. That warning sign will no longer be there. And I know a lot of you guys weren't listening to it anyways, but yeah, now you can open it up and not have to worry about seeing that all the time. So definitely give it a rip. And thank you to everybody who participated in the beta. It was so nice to have you all. That was literally one of the most busy betas we've ever had. That was just crazy busy. So thank you all for posting the bugs, making sure we got that stuff, all figured out. And it's available now. Rock solid. Give it a rip. Anything else?
Bugging out, you're bugging out.
What do you got coming up though, Bastid? Where can people find you?
I'm flying to Indonesia tomorrow. I'm playing Jakarta and Bali. I saw someone from Jakarta in the chat, so I'll see Jakarta. I play Jakarta on Friday, and I play Bali on Sunday. And then I'm doing a Bastid's Barbecue at the Wonder Fruit Festival in Thailand. So I'm doing Indonesia and Thailand to end the year. Really, really excited about both those. So follow along on my socials for some of that. DJ Newmark and myself, as well as a bunch of DJs from Southeast Asia, are playing out there at the Wonder Fruit Festival. And then it's I'm gonna take 3 weeks off. It's been a really busy year.
Yeah, that's
so I'm gonna. It's things have begun ramping up, and so I'm just gonna take some time off after Bastid's Barbecue Thailand, and catch people back on Twitch. I've been really loving doing streaming, and I see a lot of my stream crew in here, but highly recommend if you're a fan of DJ culture and music, come check me out on Twitch. I love the platform and the community we've built over there. YouTube as well. I see people here as well, but I think this stuff is going to be so fun to stream with. Like I said earlier, like with the chat or just breaking things down. Music appreciation, sometimes you're going to be like, hey, listen to this man play the bass. Listen to these drums. I love breaking tracks down like that. And now to be able to do that live, I'm going to be super, super pumped. So be on the lookout for that. And then Bastid's Barbecue 2023. Maybe we're going to come to your city. Just keep in touch. Let's link up. Yes, someone said barbecue in Chile. We did one in Chile in 2017, I believe it was. But I'm trying to come to your city, so you never know. Stay tuned, and and some more production cut corners. I feel like I didn't over the last 2 years. I didn't spend enough time making tracks and making edits. This is definitely going to help it, and I need to get back in the studio. So that's a renewed focus for the new year.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely. And make sure you follow Skratch Bastid. I'll just put it's in the chat. You can follow him on Twitch if you're not in one of those countries, or in Canada where he resides most of the time.
Yeah. most of the time. We got an LA one. We got to do this LA one coming up. We'll be back in Austin for South by Southwest.
Ooh.
Miami's on the possible list. Toronto, of course. But yeah, like overall, I just whenever something like this comes out, I'm also excited to hear what you're going to do with it. DJs in the chat, I just say this is a golden opportunity right now for you to take this. And people I've seen like JMKM and Nick Blake using stems and sharing their ideas. It's so cool, like to be able to, even with the Serato waveforms, people can see like what's happening, and you can pitch it and you can take things away and make it. I think it's a golden opportunity for DJs to get out and use this technology as creative as they can and to help share what you do. So I think if you download that tonight and put the time in, call up your friends and share ideas and get it out there. I'm happy no one burned me on this release video because I didn't see too much. Thank you for waiting until December 5th, but now go have it. Let's see it. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, show them what you got. Absolutely.
Yeah, show 'em what you got.
Yeah, man. Well, look, hey, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, Paul, and thanks to everybody tuning in. We got
My
hold
pleasure,
on.
man.
We got Keith Shockley up in here. What up, Keith Shockley? We
Oh
love to
my!
see it.
Speaking of Public Enemy, Keith Shockley from the Bomb Squad.
That's crazy.
Woo!
Imagine what Keith Shockley's gonna do with stems. Now you got
I
him.
know. Imagine he did all that without this technology.
Right?
Matching all those tracks together. Unreal.
But look, anyways, yeah, look, it's just incredible to have it finally out. If you haven't checked it, it's on YouTube. You'll be able to watch it right away. Check out Skratch Bastid's video and download it. Give it a try yourself. And if you are using it on social media, make sure you hashtag Serato Stems. We'd love to see it at Serato HQ, and we'd love to share what you guys are doing, especially if it's good and it's in key. And we'll love to post it up on our channel. So yeah, absolutely.
Tag 'em.
Please
Tag
please
me.
tag us. Tag Paul.
Let's go. Let's
Let's
see
go.
what you got.
All right. I think that's it, man. Anything you'd like to say before we go, Paul?
Sheen. No, but I do want to say thank you to Serato for inviting me to be a part of this whole release. I do believe that it is a turning point. It is a new era, and I'm really proud to be a part of it and to be someone to showcase it for you guys. So thank you for keeping me, and it was awesome working with y'all. So, yeah.
Feelings definitely mutual, Paul. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to work with you, man.
My pleasure.
All right, Joel. Well, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Whenever we do this again. And yeah, catch you guys on the internet somewhere.
Sunny, Adam W, DJ Yoda, Kid Koo is in here. Man, DJ Jelly from Atlanta's in here. What a cool crowd. Thanks for taking your time on the middle of a Monday afternoon. Surely you had other work to do, but took some time to do this. I guess it's Monday evening. I guess it's worldwide. We see a lot of people around, so maybe they're done their work. But thanks to everyone for taking the time to break this down, and we'll see you in these internet streets, or better yet, IRL. See you soon.
All right. Peace, y'all.